Within art education, my job, my whole focus is to train teachers who will go into the public schools or into public areas and teach art to other people. That makes my focus a little different, I think, than most of the rest of the people in this art department. I'm not primarily teaching a studio course. I'm primarily teaching education, teaching teachers to teach. Art is the subject matter that we deal with. And specifically, the main set of courses that I'm involved with are the elementary level methods courses. One of the things that makes an art educator, I think, a little different than a studio artist is that where a studio artist generally tends to become very specific in what they do. They get good in one or two fields, so they might go into photography, or they might go into printmaking, or they might do certain types of sculpture. An art educator has to be a generalist, so that the artwork that I've done, my background in studio art, has been as a generalist. I know how to do many, many different kinds of art well enough to teach them, well enough to practice them, well enough to demonstrate them, well enough to enjoy them. Some forms I've really taken to that I enjoy, one of them being watercolor as a painting medium. I love watercolor. Colored pencil work I love for drawing. Silkscreen is a form of art that I've done some with and I really enjoy. However, over the years, once I get back into the university situation, where right now my primary obligation is to do research, write papers, and publish, apart from the classes. So that the main thing that I do on my own, among all the rest of that, is copper enameling. Primarily forms of cloisonné, figurative cloisonné copper enameling. The beauty of that is you design the piece and you do it in pieces, and the pieces can be picked up and put down as the rest of what I'm doing allows, so I do it whenever I have the time. The past research that I've done, the piece that I've pretty much just finished with, was a combination of working through documents, working through personal records, did a lot of oral history of interviewing individuals who were part of the history, which is a whole other way of doing things. One of the most interesting things that I found in that one was a selection of artwork done in a rural public school, in a one-teacher school, I might add, in rural Pennsylvania. And it's a whole series of artwork done by students from 1930-something. The other thing is interesting to see how much of what they were doing back then we're still doing now. That the more things change, the more they stay the same. And that really gets to pretty much my overarching interest in the history of art ed, which is why things change, why teachers change what they do, why schools change, and what more often happens, why they don't, why things should have changed, why people wanted to change, and why change doesn't occur. When I was teaching in the elementary, I was of course teaching from K to 6th. My oldest students were 12-year-olds. And it's an interesting thing because when I made the switch, I thought, okay, this is going to be very, very different. I'm going to be going from very, very young kids to adults, and I'll be saying totally different things. And one of the most amazing things was that I'm saying a lot of the same stuff, which says that no matter how old we get, in some ways we really never grow up, we never change. Thank heaven. And yet there are aspects of students' lives that are more complicated, more involved, require more of you as an instructor at this level than you had in the elementary level. And I find that I'm enjoying that. I'm really, really happy going home at night after dealing with students